This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Footy is officially back this season, and the place to watch AFL live on Saturdays is on Fox Footy, available on KO Sports. Every round with no ad breaks in play. And if you're watching it, you'll see the Lion King himself, Jonathan Brown, in action, including on the
Majestic
couch today, which was one of my favourite shows. Brownie, good morning, mate.
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I am. We've got a replacement today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the replacement?
Off the,
off
Ross.
the bench.
Hey,
Off
Brownie.
the bench is Ross.
Yeah, Ross here. How are you, mate?
How are you, Ross?
Good.
How are you handling those two, mate?
I enjoy it. You know, I'm just visiting, so as long as I got that type of mindset.
Yeah.
We're great in small doses, Brownie.
Actually,
Yeah,
Brownie,
of course.
Ross is used to coming off the bench. He was telling us a lot about his junior sporting career where he was coming off the bench a lot.
Hale School, thirds on the bench, the guy with heart, no skill. So I was the opposite of you, Brownie.
No, you're best clubman. You're best clubman every year. You would have won it about 10 years in a row.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that either.
No, he came. He was on the bench. He was the second best clubman.
What were you bringing to the table? God almighty.
I don't know.
Hey, Brownie, did the great Lee Matthews ever put you on the pine and give you a bit of a talking over in any of your performances?
He did in my first game. Mind you, I'll tell you what, he looked after me.
Yeah.
Halfway through the third quarter, my possessions or my statistics, 0 kicks, 0 handballs, 0 marks.
Oh.
He said, time to sit down, young fella. Time to sit down and get a few splinters in your backside.
Think about what you've done.
That was a bad memory, not a great memory debut game. So I actually didn't touch the pill in the first game. So that's how.
What at all?
At all.
Oh.
I think I did in the warm-up. I got a couple of kicks in the warm-up.
You'd hope so.
So,
Hey.
yeah, but anyway.
Brownie, what do you think about the fact that the AFL these days come out and admit when they get a decision wrong, like in the Adelaide game? So Adelaide should have been awarded a mark right on the, right at the end. And,
Isaac Rankin, yeah.
and would have won, really, because it's unlikely he would have missed that. So what's your vibe when they come out and say, yeah, we stuffed up, but they can't do anything about it?
I think it hurts even more. It's like sort of sucked in, guys.
Yeah.
We got it wrong, but he still loses the game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because it's hard to go through a review of every decision. And in all honesty, I didn't think it wasn't the worst one of all time because I didn't think he actually marked it. And then it was borderline free kick in the back, which obviously they've said should have been a free kick. But at the time, watching it going, I could tell the umpire didn't pay it. Look. At the end of the day, you still got to go back and kick a goal from 50 metres on the boundary. So Adelaide Crow supporters are making it out like it was a certainty they were going to win the game. Now, Rankin's a star, we know that.
But they might have drawn it.
They might have drawn it, exactly. So, look, I'm not sure it really serves much of a purpose to come out and announce should have paid this free kick, shouldn't have paid that one. So just get on with it and swings and roundabouts. But Adelaide Crows have had they've been on the wrong end of the stick a few times over the last couple of years. Remember a couple of years ago when that's a hell of a score review. They should have actually made the final. So they're obviously scarred by that.
Yeah,
well, the big deal about that one that the score review should have taken place was the Matthew Nix's under pressure as a coach to be able to retain his job.
Yes.
They make the final.
There's a lot on the line.
He's no worries. They're home and host.
It's literally people's careers.
Yeah, it is. It's such a big deal. I tell you what, the umpiring yesterday in the Dockers game, it was farcical at times. And getting
Farcical?
back, yes, it was. I think the free kicks were like 25-14 in the Western Bulldogs' favour. But there were so many moments where the crowd was going ballistic over free kicks, whether you pay them or not, whatever. And then it went the opposition's way because I think the umpire wanted to clear the stoppage or clear the area. So then they spot one and they give it.
Because
it was always against them.
Normally the crowd works the other way. It works in your favour because that gets in the umpire's head, subconsciously.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but why didn't that work?
Well, I think because they missed a few and then they're like, wait for the next one, and then it quickly happened and then they give it. And it was always the opposition team.
Can anyone understand those the stoppage free kicks around the ruckman? Can anyone in the game understand that? Like it's almost just like a lucky dip, and it's I know Grundy and Cherry were going out the other night, Sydney versus North Melbourne Saturday, and I will call in that game. And Gary Lyon and myself were there, and between us, we played nearly 600 games, and we had no idea. So imagine if you were a first timer going to the footy, going, okay, I'm going to take my mate to the footy, first time ever, trying to explain the situation to him. But they'd walk away so confused. You can't. So I don't know what's going on with it.
I tell you what, good news though for your teams in Queensland, mate. They are flying, and I tip my hat off to Brisbane in particular because you're coming off a shortened pre-season winning the flag.
Yeah.
The start they've had is amazing. Gold Coast have been handed a freebie by the AFL. I mean, they've been able to load up their team for years, and it's good to see because the competition needs it. But my focus is really, I think Brisbane have done an amazing job.
Yeah. Well, they've avoided the premiership hangover, haven't they? That's obviously what everyone watches for straight away. 4 and zip. Not playing the greatest footy, not shooting the lights out, but you don't have to. You just got to win.
I mean, the only team that's really challenged you was the Eagles. How weird was that?
I know. Well, you're 5 goals up, weren't you? And that was amazing. I thought surely we couldn't do that after we'd unfurled the premiership flag. Imagine losing to the Eagles. Like, God almighty.
It's hard to imagine these days, far out after yesterday.
After the weekend. Now, tough trip, I know, the GWS, but, geez, like, how has the club sort of fallen from great heights in 2018? Hopefully Minnie McWallow can sort them out. But you're right, the Lions have been great, and they play the Suns in 3 weeks' time on a Sunday night before a public holiday in Queensland.
That's going to be a burster.
You know, maybe not a huge amount of interest in WA, but it's big for the state of Queensland when you're trying to grow the game. Obviously, Brisbane's been on the radar for a long time, but Gold Coast footy is really big. We live on the Gold Coast, and AFL's really big. You know, a lot of kids play it, especially the girls' footy, and they're starting to get good crowds. So it's good for footy up there. Hopefully they can make finals for the good of the whole game because there's been a fair bit of money's pumped in there. But it's good to see.
Yeah, absolutely, Brownie. I'll get you out on this one. I just wanted to get your thoughts on what the Eagles should do going forward. Would you trade Oscar Allen and would you trade Harley out of your team?
Well, obviously it depends on what they're getting offered, but no. I wouldn't, Oscar's 26, so before the Eagles are going to be good, he's probably going to be 30. So you've got to ask those questions because it's hard for key forwards, speaking from experience, hard for him to be play the best footy after 30. I know that. Obviously, Oscar's had a few injury challenges. I definitely wouldn't be letting go of Harley Reid. Harley Reid's had his challenges, but he to me looks like a competitor, and it's hard as a young player playing in an ordinary team. Imagine him playing for Hawthorn at the moment or for Brisbane. He'd be absolutely dominating. So, look,
nightmares are made of.
We get that's right. We can't underestimate how difficult it is for young players to cut their teeth in poor teams when they're starting out their career. So, you've got to keep your young talent. It's obviously been a real challenge. And they're just going to have to build their way through the draft, aren't they, West Coast? It's the only way you can build your way out of it. And obviously, probably some homegrown talent.
But if you're trading these players for top, several top draft picks, is that the way to go?
Well, it may be if you've got the right local talent.
Yeah.
Now if you can get good local talent, which there's always everyone plays footy in WA, you can get the good local talent there to stay, so you don't have these contract situations where they're demanding big money to go away. Is Oscar Allen, where is he originally from? He's not a WA boy.
Yeah, he is. He played for West Perth in our local league, coming through in the 18s.
Well, you try and keep your local talent. So,
but
and obviously he's been through the ringer last week.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
Let's not kid ourselves. These conversations, whether the captain of a footy club or you're not a captain of a footy club, these conversations are going on all the time now behind the scenes. It's the murky way. It's the murky world of the AFL contract situations. And West Coast are talking to players behind the scenes as well.
Yes, of course they are. Yes,
exactly. So to roll out Oscar Allen, have to try and explain himself. Not a great move. So obviously they've had a couple of own goals in recent weeks, but they'll be able to get through that. They've got to look after Oscar Allen. He's the captain, but also Oscar Allen's got to stand up and own it. Right, bang, I did this. I'm the captain of the footy club, but I'm here and I'm determined to help out this club get back to former greatness. Or not former greatness, get back to its new greatness. So, and that's the way it's got to be and move forward.
All right, gather round. Here we come.
Oh, yeah, Brownie, Jesus.
Excited about that.
Get your drinking boots on, big guy. You will be in all sorts.
It's hard work, isn't it? Like, you've actually got to work. You got to remember, like, you wake up and you go, shit, I've got to actually go to work. So I thought we were just here for one big party to gather out. But it's going to be fantastic. And, obviously there was KO and Fox. So that'll be fun. If you can't get there, you'll be able to watch it. But certainly if you're on the ground, if it's boots on the ground, she's Party Central.
I reckon you will have lost your voice by this time next week, Brownie.
I've got 3 games to call too. Friday, night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Imagine me by Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very raspy version.
Monday
you're gonna get home.
morning, rough as.
Kyle's is going to hate you because you'll be in all sorts. So you won't be able to do a thing. You'll be dying on the couch.
I know. She's giving me the kids too for the week. Like she's got to go overseas with some mates. She's just offloading the kids for that week post gather round. So
Good luck to you.
I'll be looking at rehab, and instead I get 3 kids. Dad, where are we going today? We're on school holidays. That's good fun, isn't it? So,
You live on the Gold Coast, don't you just drop them off at a theme park and pick them up 8 hours later?
That's right. I'll pick up 8 hours. Exactly. Locals pass.
Oh, love your work, Brownie.
See you,
Thanks,
brother.
mate.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Time for a giveaway to kick things off with a bit of S Sport.
Where's
4
that?
tickets.
Give it away now.
Ross, come on, mate.
Ross, lift.
You just need to feel that, dude.
There's all these buttons over here. And there's lots.
Just press the right one.
Okay. Say it again.
There we go.
Say it again.
Time for a give.
Flawless.
The chilies.
That's completely unprompted and amazing. Okay.
Amazing. Do we have to pay for that?
What do we
Do we have to pay for this, by the way?
Stop
Stop
it.
it.
Oh, we have to pay for it.
Stop it.
Okay.
Okay, we got 4 tickets to the NRL doubleheader on this Saturday at Optus Stadium. This weekend, witness the NRL doubleheader. Last chance for tickets at Ticketmaster 132410. Call number 8. We'll get those tickets. That'll
Nice
be
work.
huge. So was it yesterday when we got to see our 2 WA teams in action. The Fremantle Dockers were very, very brave in their game against the Western Bulldogs. Players going down left, right and centre. Luke Jackson was one in the last quarter. He couldn't play at all.
I did ask you, Shawnee, how did the crowd react to Rory Lobb's haircut of the lobster that's stenciled on his head?
I think, as
First of all, what did you think about that?
All right, I mean, I saw it during the week. I think it's funny, but it's also a brave thing to do to draw that much attention to yourself when you're going back to a club where you played at and not well. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree, Nat, because a lot of people want to throw the boots into someone like Rory, but I'm with you. That's bravery.
Yes.
And then to play in the game like he did yesterday, he was very, very good.
Since he's
very
gone
good.
down back, he's playing really well.
Yeah.
How come Fremantle didn't think to put him there?
Well,
I mean,
had some
you
pretty
wanted
handy
it.
players.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, Brendan Cox plays back there with Alex Pearce and Luke Ryan. They're kind of set in their ways in that way. But he's been a revelation.
Yeah, he has.
So I do tip my hat to him, by the way. And he knew, Ross, that he was going to get booed, which he did.
I think it was going on the front foot, really. Then you can say, at least they're booing me about my hair, not me as a person.
And if he can lean into it.
That's a great way of looking at it. Absolutely great. But, Nat, you also watched some sport over the weekend. I want to get your take on the Fever because they got smoked.
It was a bad day if you're a West Coast fan of any sort. I was watching a little bit of the West Coast Eagles game and I had to go out to the shops and I came back and the score was 60-7. I went, okay, that's no good. And so I got ready to go to the netball and I'm like, okay, this is going to be better. And then it wasn't. I mean, the headline is that Grace Nweke is an unbelievable talent. So she's a Kiwi. She's given up the opportunity to play internationally for New Zealand because she's come to play in the Suncorp Super Netball. They've got that rule like the Wallabies used to have for players that played overseas.
It's a silly rule.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it is a silly rule, especially as she's come to the best competition in the world where she's only going to get better. Like they're shooting themselves in the foot. She's an amazing signing for the Swifts. I watched her last year when she completely dismantled the Diamonds at RAC Arena playing for New Zealand, and it was like, this girl has serious talent. Like, so she's the goal shooter. She's tall, but she's also very athletic. We couldn't do anything to stop her. She was actually amazing.
So take this game aside, and Grace, who we were just talking about, do you see the West Coast Fever still having a good season?
Look, I think that clearly they're missing Janelle Fowle and Emmard. There's no doubt about that, and that their whole game style has been built for several last years around getting the ball to Janelle. And so there's an adaptation that comes when she's not there. Olivia Wilkinson, I thought, did play really well. So she's like one of the replacement goal shooters. She's from here. She went over east. She came back again. She's a young player still, and she's developing, but she is a very good goal shooter. You can tell she's going to be great in the future. And she acquitted herself pretty well. But there were just a lot of turnovers yesterday, and I think that comes with a bit of nerves, a bit of sort of some new combinations still working their way around, and I think they'll only get better. But Yeah, beforehand, I did a pre-match function where Kelsey Brown interviewed me, and she was like, "Oh, how do you see the season panning out?" And I'm like, well, and I said it on air.
Yeah.
This is the preview of the grand final. And after yesterday, like, this.
That's a McManus statement.
It's going to be a blowout. I've done a Shaun McManus here for sure. But anyway, fingers crossed they can. Dan Ryan has a very good way of getting those girls to rally after a loss like that. So I think they'll be all right.
Let's hope so.
Yep.
Good luck for the Fever.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.